Hey everyone, Paradox ECG here. I'm Ryan and I'm bringing you a quick video on what to use in baby raccoons and what not to use. This was determined by myself because a lot of these cards that I'm going to show you are not as consistent as others or just are not needed in the deck. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, I have one Kalantosa Mystical Beast of the Forest in my deck. The reason is because this card cannot be normal summoned or special summoned by Ares Rock Sunrise to get its effect. The only way it can get its effect is either by Tantan or Bellerophon. And typically, once it's out of the deck, the only way you can special summon it is by Bellerophon's effect. If you have more than one in the graveyard, it's useless because Bellerophon is only once per turn, so you can only make Kalantosa once per turn. So, I only use one. However, Wind-Up Kitten I use two of, just because I can normal summon it to get its effect, I can use Ares Rock Sunrise to get its effect, I can special summon it with Tantan to get its effect, I can use Bellerophon, I can use it multiple times per turn. It's not limited to just Tantan and Bellerophon like Kalantosa is. That's why I use two. Now, for Sequala, I actually don't use Sequala at all. Sequala is... If you've seen my other videos, you know that I hate Sequala. Sequala pretty much just lowers the chance that you'll have an OTK. It sounds good in theory because it lowers your opponent's monster's attack to 0, but it doesn't make for good tokens. You can use Tree Otter to bump up a opponent's monster by 1,000, or bump up your monster by 1,000. So it helps make bigger tokens, it helps with your OTK, and it's just overall better than Sequala. Next I have Junk Synchron. Junk Synchron I don't use in my deck. The reason is because it's slow. It is just slow as anything, this format. It has to be normal summoned for its effect, and it's not even an Earth-type monster. It's a Dark-type monster, or attribute. It's a Dark attribute. So you can't use it to make Naturia Beast, and the only thing you can make if you activate Obedience School in the same turn is Frozen Fitzgerald, which I do not use in my extra deck because it is not as good as Armades. Next, I use Beast King Barbaros. Beast King Barbaros is required in this deck for this format. If you don't use Beast King Barbaros, seriously go buy a copy for like 50 cents because Beast King Barbaros is ridiculous. You need it to make Star Eater and Leo. Leo to get over Burning Abyss, and Star Eater to get over Apocalypse Towers and other problematic cards that are unaffected by monsters. Apocalypse Towers is being used more often now because Skill Drain is at 2, and the deck doesn't shut itself down if it has Apocalypse Towers out. So if Star Eater attacks, it doesn't get its attack lowered by Apocalypse Towers during the damage step. So it can attack over Apocalypse Towers because it's 11 stars, and it can just... it's one of the only ways this deck can get over that card. And because of this, I side two Mythic Water Dragons. Mythic Water Dragon, if you have a Earth monster on your field, basically summon it from your hand, and then it's level 8 so you can use it with Bellerophon and Cerberus, but you can't use just Cerberus on the field because Cerberus is a light-type monster. I mean light attribute. I gotta stop doing that. So yeah, Mythic Water Dragon I side against Cliff Forts and Burning Abyss just so I can make Leo and Star Eater. Another tech, the last monster tech I use is Lava Golem. I use Lava Golem, I only use it as a one-of because my friend that runs Raccoons told me that it's great monster removal, and there's a combo you can do. If you have a Sandaiu and a Lava Golem out, you can summon Lava Golem, activate Sandaiu's effect, and make a 3,000 attack token. And since Lava Golem only has 2,500 defense, you can attack over it with the token, and that's just basically just monster removal for your opponent. And if you leave it out, you can burn them for 1,000 points. So if they're only down by 1,000 points, just special summon it, and then pass for turn. So yeah. On to the spells, I use two United We Stand in my deck, just because United We Stand makes great tokens. It is one of the best possible ways you can make a bigger token. If you have one Sandayu and nothing else on your field, and you equip it with United We Stand, the worst case scenario, you will have a Sandayu and a token with both 2600 attack. United We Stand is a very underrated card and is very, very required in this deck, at least at 2. Now, one spell I was using last format, but I'm not this format, is 3 MST. I don't even use MST at 1 in this deck anymore, because the main matchup for this deck is Necroz's format. So if you're drawing MST against Necroz, you basically just lost out on a card. Necroz uses no traps, so you have no reason to use MSG. However, I side 3 of them just because Clifforts are still kind of relevant, and Nutellas are relevant, and just every other rogue deck. So yeah. On the traps, I use 2 Ceasefire. Ceasefire is a very, very good tech in this deck, because you can not only use it for burn damage, because there are multiple times when you have 5 monsters on your side of the field, but you can use it with Ponpoko. If you have Ceasefire set, you can normal summon Ponpoko, and then just set any beast monster from your deck face down in your field, and then activate Ceasefire, flip your monster, and then you can use its effects. So you can summon Wind-Up Kitten to get its effect, Valeraphon to get its effect, Tree Otter, pretty much anything that you would need for your combos. Ceasefire is very underrated. It's at 2 now. It has been at 2 for a few months. So yeah, it's very good. For the other synchros, I use 1 Herald of the Arclight. Herald of the Arclight is brilliant in this deck, just because it's easy to make it, because it's only level 4, and because its first effect is any card sent from the hand or the main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. This is one of the only decks that can actually get it onto the field, because it's only level 4. I mean, there are other decks that can make it, but just not as consistently. Herald of the Arclight is very, very good, because it also has a Solemn Judgment effect, where you can just tribute it and then negate any effect. So yes, very, very required. Gachi Gachi Guntetsu, I don't like it. I can't say I never liked it. I did use it at 2 back when the format when this deck first came out. It's not as good anymore. It's too slow. The only effect that it's noteworthy for is giving 400 plus attack and defense. And you can save it from destruction twice. The only problem with it, though, is that United We Stand, I used 2 of them, and it gives more attack boost than 2 Gontetsus at once. So Guntetsu is not needed. Replacements could be Sky Cavalry Centauria. It just got released in Secrets of Eternity. This card cannot be destroyed by battle while it has an XP material. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, you can detach 1 material, return the opponent's monster from the field to the hand. This card is ridiculous. This card can get over a lot of stuff, like Wenda, Leo, a lot of stuff, because this card does not target your opponent's monster, it targets your opponent. And one last XE I use is Dagusto Phoenix. This card really helps with the OTK, especially with United We Stand, because it can detach 1 material and target 1 wind monster you control, this card, basically, and it can attack twice during each battle phase. So yeah, that's at least 3,000 plus damage just from this card. So yeah, guys, there you have it. Test out Raccoon decks, because they're very, very good. Let me know what you think of my techs. Comment, rate, subscribe. Check out our eBay page. It'll be in the description. And yeah, peace out.